Don't stare so hard. Somebody could put something in your eye.
1985. Eric Roberts gets an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
No, I only participate if they nominate me.
He's 29 years old. The performance is in Runaway Train, playing an escaped convict on a train hurtling toward disaster. Critics are losing their minds. They're calling him the next Marlon Brando, the next Robert De Niro. This isn't hype. This is legitimate genius. Eric Roberts is raw, intense, dangerous on screen. He's got the range that most actors spend careers trying to find. He's already there. At 29, the industry is watching. Major directors want him. Studios are offering leads. Eric Roberts should become one of the greatest actors of his generation. Instead, he becomes a punchline, a cautionary tale, the guy who threw away everything.
Be my love, and with your kiss.
By the 1990s, he's doing direct-to-video garbage. By the 2000s, he's in over 700 movies, most of them unwatchable. Today, Eric Roberts holds the record for most film credits in history. Not because he's successful, because he'll take literally any role offered. What happened? How does someone with that much talent, that much promise, that much potential end up here? The answer is drugs, ego, and self-destruction on a scale Hollywood rarely sees. This is that story. The prodigy picture this: 1970s, New York City. Eric Roberts is studying acting seriously. He's not some kid looking for fame. He's training. London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, American Academy of Dramatic Arts. He's learning the craft from the ground up, and he's a natural.
Young veal served with fresh mushroom, sherry, and a cream sauce. We also have asabuco.
Teachers see it immediately. This kid has something rare, raw talent that can't be taught. He understands characters instinctively. He disappears into roles. By his early 20s, Eric is already better than actors twice his age. His first major film role was King of the Gypsies in 1978. He's 22 years old, playing a young gypsy prince. The performance gets noticed. Critics mention his name. Hollywood starts paying attention. Then came Star 80 in 1983. Eric plays Paul Snider.
We both jump out a window. No, seriously, if you don't sign, then it's...
The man who murdered Playboy model Dorothy Stratton. It's a dark, disturbing performance. Eric makes Snider pathetic and terrifying simultaneously. Roger Ebert calls it one of the best performances of the year. Eric is 27 and proving he can handle complex, difficult material. Then, Runaway Train in 1985. Eric plays Buck, a violent convict who escapes prison with an older inmate played by Jon Voight. The movie is directed by Andrei Konchalovsky, a serious filmmaker. It's not a typical action movie. It's allegorical, philosophical. Eric's performance is explosive. He's manic, unpredictable, heartbreaking.
You tell your boy I said good luck, aye?
Thanks, bud.
Aye.
Thanks for everything, man.
You betcha.
The Academy nominates him for Best Supporting Actor. At 29 years old, Eric Roberts has an Oscar nomination. He's in the same conversation as the greatest actors alive. Industry insiders are unanimous. Eric Roberts is going to be huge, not just a star, a legend. He's got the talent of De Niro with the looks of a leading man. He can do intense character work and romantic leads. He's the complete package. Major directors want to work with him. Scripts are being sent to him first. Eric Roberts is positioned perfectly for a legendary career. And then he destroys it, systematically, completely, in ways that still shock people who knew him then. The reputation. The problems start almost immediately after the Oscar nomination. Eric develops a reputation. Difficult, unpredictable, unreliable. On-set stories start circulating. He's combative with directors. He argues about line readings. He shows up late. He's using cocaine heavily, not hiding it. Using on-set, between takes. People can see it. And word spreads fast in Hollywood. Directors talk to other directors. Producers warn other producers. Eric Roberts is talented, but he's not worth the trouble. The cocaine addiction becomes severe. Eric later admits he was using it constantly throughout the mid-80s. It's affecting everything: his judgment, his behavior, his relationships. He's burning bridges with people who could have helped his career. Producers who loved his work started avoiding him. Studios put him on unofficial blacklists. Not because of the talent, because of the chaos he brings. Insurance companies don't want to cover productions with him. That's career death in Hollywood. In 1981, before the Oscar nomination, Eric was in a serious car accident. He's driving with his girlfriend when they crash. Eric nearly dies. He's in a coma. When he wakes up, part of his face is paralyzed. It eventually heals mostly, but there's permanent nerve damage. His face moves differently now. It affects his range of expression. Some directors notice. Some roles become impossible. The accident should have been a wake-up call. Instead, Eric uses harder to cope with the trauma. Directors who worked with him started refusing second projects. Bob Fosse directed him in Star 80 and said he'd never work with Eric again. Too difficult, too combative. This is Bob Fosse saying this, a director known for working with challenging performers. If Fosse won't deal with you, that's a massive red flag. Other directors hear these stories. They move on to other actors, safer choices. Less talented maybe, but reliable. By 1987, just 2 years after his Oscar nomination, Eric's career was already declining. The offers are still coming, but they're smaller. Mid-budget thrillers instead of prestige pictures. Supporting roles instead of leads. Eric takes them because he needs the work. Cocaine isn't cheap. The lifestyle is expensive. But each smaller role damages his reputation further. The trajectory is obvious. Eric Roberts is spiraling, and he can't stop himself. The ego makes everything worse. Eric believes he's the most talented actor in Hollywood. He's probably right, but he tells everyone, constantly. He dismisses other actors. He talks about how directors don't understand his process. He becomes insufferable. The wilderness years. The 1990s are brutal for Eric Roberts. The studio films stop coming. The prestige directors move on. What's left are direct-to-video action movies. The kind that go straight to Blockbuster's new release wall and disappear in a week. Eric starts saying yes to everything. Literally everything. If someone offers him a role, he takes it. The quality doesn't matter. The pay doesn't matter. He just works constantly. It becomes compulsive. The titles from this era are depressing. The Specialist with Sylvester Stallone in 1994, where Eric plays a small role. That's the biggest movie he does. Everything else is forgettable. Vendetta, Final Combination, Stiletto Dance. Movies with budgets under $2 million. Scripts written on a weekend. Productions that shoot in 2 weeks. Eric is in all of them. Sometimes playing the lead, sometimes supporting, always cashing the check. What's shocking is the volume. Eric isn't doing 5 or 6 of these movies a year. He's doing 15, 20. Some years, he has 25 credits. That's more than 2 movies per month. It's mathematically insane. He's flying from one set to another, filming for a few days, then moving to the next project. There's no time to prepare, no time to develop character. He's just showing up, saying lines, leaving. It's acting as assembly line work. Here's the sad part. Eric is still talented. Even in these terrible movies, you can see flashes of the actor he was. A scene where he commits fully. A moment where the character feels real. Then it's back to bad dialogue and cheaper production values. It's like watching a great musician play in a subway station. The talent is there. The context is all wrong. Eric could be doing Shakespeare. Instead, he's doing Raptor Ranch. Yes, that's a real movie about dinosaurs attacking a ranch. Eric's in it. The record nobody wanted. By the 2000s, Eric Roberts had more film credits than almost any living actor. Not because he's successful, because he never says no. IMDb lists over 700 credits. That's not a typo. 700. More than legendary character actors who worked for 60 years. Eric's done it in about 40. The math is staggering. He's been in an average of 17 movies per year for his entire career. Nobody works that much. Nobody. Some years are worse than others. In 2008, Eric appeared in 20 movies. 20. That's almost 2 per month. The budgets are microscopic. The productions are nightmares. Eric doesn't care. He takes everything offered. Show up, hit your marks, collect the check. There's no artistry left, just volume, just the compulsion to work constantly. The Guinness World Records people take notice. Is Eric Roberts the actor with the most film credits in history? But for English-language cinema, Eric is definitely in the conversation. That should be an achievement. Instead, it's embarrassing. It's a record that proves you took every bad script Hollywood produced for 40 years. The money can't be good. These low-budget productions pay scale or barely above. Maybe Eric makes $100,000 or $200,000 a year total. Eric could have made that per episode on a prestige TV show. The math doesn't make sense unless you understand it's not about money. Eric is addicted to acting, even bad acting, even acting that diminishes his legacy. The record nobody wanted becomes Eric's legacy, not the Oscar nomination, not Star 80 or Runaway Train, the 700 credits. The joke about being in every bad movie ever made. A man with legitimate genius reduced to a trivia answer. The redemption attempts. In 2008, Christopher Nolan cast Eric Roberts in The Dark Knight. The role is Maroni, a mob boss. It's small, maybe 5 scenes total, but it's The Dark Knight, the biggest movie of the year. Eric is sharing scenes with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger. This should be the comeback moment. The performance is fine, professional, nothing spectacular but solid. And then it goes nowhere. No other major directors call. Eric goes right back to the direct-to-video grind immediately. Paul Thomas Anderson cast him in Inherent Vice in 2014, another prestigious director giving Eric a chance. The role is small again, but it's PTA. Eric delivers a weird, memorable performance. Critics mention him positively. This should open doors. It doesn't. By 2015, Eric was back to doing 15 low-budget movies a year. The pattern doesn't break. Television offers some legitimacy. Eric guest stars on quality shows. Law and Order, The Blacklist, Suits. He's professional, does the work, gets praised. But he's still doing terrible movies simultaneously. In the same year he's on a good TV show, he's also in Sharknado, 5 and 10 other movies you've never heard of. The good work gets buried under the volume of bad work. Sobriety comes eventually. He's been sober for decades now. In interviews, he's reflective about his mistakes. He admits the ego, the drugs, the burned bridges. He understands what he did to his career, but understanding doesn't fix it. The industry moved on. Eric's window closed years ago. It's too late. Self-awareness is almost worse. Eric knows he's a punchline. He knows people mock his filmography. He does it anyway. In interviews, he jokes about being in everything. He leans into it. The actor who never says no. But underneath, you can see the regret. Eric Roberts could have been one of the all-time legends. Instead, he's the guy from 700 movies you've never seen. That's a tragedy he lives with every day. What could have been? Here's what hurts. Eric Roberts had the talent to be Al Pacino. He had the range to be Robert De Niro. Watch him in Star 80 or Runaway Train. That's generational talent. He could have been doing Scorsese movies, prestige dramas, characters people remember forever. Instead, he's in Sharknado and Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus. The gap between potential and reality is staggering. Compare his career to his contemporaries. De Niro was doing Goodfellas and Casino. Pacino had Scarface and The Godfather Part 3. They're legends. Eric could have been there with them. The talent was equal, but the choices destroyed everything. The drugs, the ego, the inability to say no. Eric is 68 years old now, still acting, still taking every role. But the chance for legendary status died 35 years ago. Julia Roberts became the bigger star. That must sting. Eric's younger sister is one of the most famous actresses in history. Oscar winner, global icon. Eric introduced her to acting. He was famous first. Now she's Julia Roberts, and he's Julia Roberts' troubled older brother. That's his identifier. Julia succeeded by being professional, selective, and smart. Eric did the opposite at every turn. The real tragedy is self-sabotage. Hollywood didn't reject Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts rejected Hollywood. He burned every bridge. He refused every helping hand. Directors tried to work with him, and he made it impossible. Sobriety came, but the damage was permanent. You can't unburn bridges. You can't undo 30 years of terrible reputation. The cautionary tale is obvious. Talent isn't enough. You need discipline, professionalism, the ability to work with others. Eric had none of that. He thought his talent made him untouchable. He was wrong. Hollywood has 1,000,000 talented actors. It only keeps the ones who aren't nightmares. Now he's left with 700 credits, 1 Oscar nomination, and the knowledge that he threw away everything. That's the legacy, not the talent, the waste. Eric Roberts should have been one of the greatest actors in history. Instead, he's a warning about wasted talent and self-destruction. If this story hits you, subscribe and tell me which other actor threw away their potential. Drop a comment. Thanks for reading.